In this video, I will be going over multiple different tips on how to improve your game in Modern Warfare. Now, before we get started, I have a ton of timestamps down in the description if you want to skip around. But anyways, let's jump straight into it. So I'm sure that many of you have noticed by now that the minimap is not the same as it used to be. Not just because it's only half the size as past Call of Duty games, but also it doesn't work how it used to work. Now in Modern Warfare, we have the minimap and we have a compass. The minimap only shows your teammates' positions unless you have a UAV or counter UAV. Then you'll see other enemies, unless of course they have ghost. Now usually in the past you would be able to see enemy gunfire as well, but that is not the case. This year they added a compass on the top of the screen that shows where the gunfire is. Now this is a pretty annoying change, just because now we have to look at two places rather than one, and once you figure out that they're over here from the compass while looking at the minimap, you're gonna be dead and just annoying. Now a lot of people don't know about how this minimap works, and that's why I'm going over it for my first tip. So make sure that you're using the compass a lot on the top of the screen. This is something that I didn't do at first since I really didn't know what it did, and once I learned to use the compass correctly, it helped my gameplay drastically. Now for my next tip, we're going to be going over how to actually improve your kill-death ratio. As I'm sure that many of y'all have noticed, this game is not like any other game. This game is much slower paced, there's a lot more campers, and overall just running around the map is gonna get you killed. So my big tip is going to be staying in one portion of the map. Now no, I do not mean sitting in corners or in windows the entirety of the game. Please do not do this. Now what I mean by sticking to a portion of the map is finding an area, maybe a building, maybe just a small section of the map, where you can kind of stay down low and lock down that area. Now with how loud footsteps are in this game, with locking down an area, you can pretty easily figure out where people are coming from. Now like an area, I'm not meaning a building like this size, staying in this building. This is not gonna work for you, I can guarantee that. Someone's gonna pick you off. Don't. What I mean is probably a building like this, maybe a little bit on the outside as well. You can hear just about anybody come from any section of this building. I would recommend using the entirety of the section instead of sitting in one corner, one spot. It is just not going to work for you. So make sure to move around, use different angles wherever you can to improve your game. Now my third tip for you is going to be how streaks work in this game. Now unlike other Call of Duty games, you cannot keep cycling your streaks. Once you get that streak in your lifetime, once you get a streak in your life, you cannot re-get that streak. So you have to die to be able to get another one. So usually my highest streak is going to be the VTOL, which is an 8 kill streak. So most of the time you're going to see me playing a little slower for this 8 kill streak. Like I mentioned, staying to a portion of the map. And then from there I don't stress about getting my kill streaks anymore, since I literally can't get any more of that life. I'll go out and play a little faster. Now I'm not playing stupid, I'm just playing faster. And then if I die, that's okay, because then I can go back and get my streaks. Now to put this into better words, let's say you get your 8 kill streak, you get your VTOL, and you get a couple kills with it. Let's say 4 kills. From there, you're still alive, you're on a 12 to 15 kill streak, but your kills are currently counting towards nothing. If you go on another 10 kill streak, another 8 kill streak, you're not going to be getting another streak, another VTOL, another helicopter, and then so you will not get kills from what could have been your streaks. So if you want to go get a nuclear, you can, but if you're not aiming for a nuclear or really high kill streaks, I would recommend going out there, playing a little bit different, maybe getting a little cocky, taking more challenges, And then if you die, at least you can go out and get your streaks again. It's up to you how you want to play. That's just what I find works best for me to get those higher kill streaks. Now my fourth tip is going to be following the meta. And if you don't know what meta means, it's basically following what's best in the game, what everybody else is doing. And this I mean talking about guns. I'm sure a lot of you are already using the best guns in this game because it's what everybody is using. But in Modern Warfare, the current really two best guns in this game is going to be the M4A1 and the MP5. That's what most of the pros are using. That's what most of everybody is using. So switching to one of those weapons, if you're not already using that, is going to help you a lot. Using any other weapon will most likely be putting you at a disadvantage, depending on what weapon it is. And following the meta is something that you can do throughout the whole year. If the meta changes up a little bit, you can figure out what's the best guns. I always post what the best guns are. I already have a class set up on the MP5 and the M4A1. You can watch those. Those will be down in the description. But learning to follow the meta and change with the meta is pretty crucial. Now, a great thing about this game is that they have predictive recoil on all the weapons, which means that the recoil will follow a certain path the whole time. If you've played CSGO in the past, then it is just the same as this. As you can see, I am not going to push down any of my analog sticks. I'm just going to aim and shoot, and it's going to follow the same path each time. See, it veers off to the right. It's going to follow the same path. So learning that predictive recoil is also going to be crucial to getting those kills. If you find in certain weapons that the recoil jumps in a certain spot, which makes it harder to get a kill once you hit that bullet amount, I would recommend stop shooting and start reshooting to make sure that you skip that bullet path. Now, this is something that will just take time getting used to, but once again, it'll help you a lot. Now, the next tip that I'm going to go over is what perks you are running. Now, if you're anything like me, then you will probably run into a claymore at least 10 different times in a game. And this is literally no exaggeration. I've died from claymores every single game. It drives me crazy. Not only that, but have you seen the stuns? Really? Really, Call of Duty? Why? So perks is probably one of the most important tips that I can give. I'm getting pissed off just thinking about it. I run two specific perks that is an absolute game changer. One of these perks is going to be an EOD. This is going to be under your perk 1, and this is going to help with all explosive damages. And you can also hack equipment, which I've never really done once. I haven't taken the time to figure that out, and I actually keep forgetting about that. So this perk is better than I thought it was. But with this perk, you can actually run through a claymore and not die, which is so nice. But also, a lot of people put claymores where they are sitting, so I'd recommend if you hit a claymore, then finding some place to sit while healing, or get ready for someone to jump out and try and kill you instantly. But either way, EOD, it's an amazing perk. Definitely run it. I will probably never change this perk out unless some reason the explosives get severely nerfed in this game, which I don't think will happen. The second perk is going to be Battle Harden in perk 3. This is going to reduce the strength of those absolutely disgusting stuns and EMPs, flashes. So when you initially get hit by them, they're not going to be as strong and they don't last nearly as long. This has also saved me many times because I'm sure that you guys have felt getting stunned and sitting in the same place for 10 to 15 seconds because your whole screen is white and you can't do anything. So if you're not running these two perks, please run them. It's going to help you, I promise. Now, the rest of the tips I'm going to be going over is going to be with the settings in the game. So let's go ahead and get into that. The first tip is going to be your graphical settings. Now, if you head over to general, there is a good bit of graphical settings. My first tip is going to be with film grain. Now, I honestly have no idea why this is in the game. It honestly shouldn't be. The film grain is called visual noise. How I look at it is it's how clear everything is. Now with film grain, it's going to make it less clear. You're going to have little pecks of, I don't know, on your screen. It makes everything kind of blend in a little bit more. It's actually kind of harder to see. They have a visual representation here of what it's like. And as you can see, I mean, it makes a difference. So I'd recommend putting your film grain all the way down and just never touching that. It'll make your game look a lot better, and it'll also help how you play. Now my next graphical setting tip is going to be the blurs in the game. Once again, this has been in a lot of Call of Duty games. Actually, some you haven't been able to disable, so this is really nice that they have this. They have weapon blur and world blur. Disabling both of these, you're not going to see any blurring while moving around really fast, which this will make it much easier when you're spinning to see enemies or whatever you need to see. Again, these graphics show a pretty good representation of what it is. You want this game to be as clear as possible, so disabling those is the best idea. I've had this disabled since the game came out, and I will definitely not be going back. Now my last tips are going to be actual settings that will help your aim or how the controller feels. First, we're going to be working with the aim assist. Aim assist options are newer, so you can change how it feels. There's standard, precision, and focusing, and of course disabled. I would recommend not disabling your aim assist. This is going to help you hit targets. Playing around with each of these, seeing what works best for you, will help with how many bullets you hit. I'd go with standard. I've tried precision, but overall I just like standard the best. Now this next tip is going to be a little weird, but I've done this in every single Call of Duty. Many pros do this. Is going to be disabling your controller vibration. Now, why, you may ask? When your controller vibrates, it's of course shaking your controller, which can mess with your aim ever so slightly and throw off your shot. Now, it might take a few games to get used to, but after a while you will not even notice the difference, and it will help your shot. Now this next one is a new setting that we have not seen before. This is going to be your aim response. This is going to be how your right toggle stick feels. You're going to have standard, linear, and dynamic. Standard is of course just how Call of Duty has always felt. Linear is going to make your toggle stick a bit more touchy, and dynamic is going to be a more accurate feeling. Now again, this is one that you're just going to have to play with. It's kind of hard to describe exactly how these feel, so that's going to be up to you. But that is going to be all of my tips. I know this was a bit of a longer video, but I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope that it has helped you in some way or another. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. As always, I appreciate y'all, I love y'all, and I will see you guys in the next one.